There is a deep and universal truth, the one that each voter feels at the deepest of his being. The awareness of the price to pay to walk on the spiritual path. To be chosen is to carry a light in oneself, but it is also to accept the shadows that come with this responsibility. Today we plunge into this reality, a subject often ignored or misunderstood. But who is of the experience of all chosen? What is this price that we all have to pay to accomplish our divine mission? This is what we are going to discover together. Once upon a time, there was a shepherd who lived alone at the top of a mountain. He spent his days contemplating the stars, listening to the murmurs of the wind, and meditating on the mysteries of the universe. Despite his wisdom and his connection with the divine, he felt a deep loneliness. The people of the village at the bottom of the mountain respected him, but they did not understand his way of life. They thought it was strange, even crazy, to choose such an existence. This story illustrates one of the first prices that the elected must pay: solitude. Being spiritually awakened can sometimes isolate you from others. Your vision of the world changes. Your priorities evolve. And those around you cannot always understand what you are going through. You are walking on a path that few can follow, and this walk can seem lonely. But this loneliness is not a punishment. It is an invitation to dive deeper into yourself, to discover the hidden treasures of your soul. In these moments of solitude, you are called to reconnect with the source, to remember that you are never truly alone. Christ himself experienced this solitude in the desert, where he was tempted and tested. But it is in this solitude that he found the strength to pursue his mission. How do you experience this solitude in your own spiritual path? Can you see it as an opportunity rather than an ordeal? Another aspect of the price to pay is the detachment from material pleasures and desires. The story of a rich young man who one day came to find Jesus is a perfect illustration of this dilemma. He asked Jesus what he had to do to obtain eternal life. Jesus answered him to follow the commandments, which he was already doing. But when he told him to sell everything he owned and to follow him, the young man left, sad because he had great wealth. This episode reminds us that in order to walk on the path of the chosen ones, we must sometimes renounce what the world considers precious. Material attachments, terrestrial ambitions can become chains that prevent us from rising spiritually. It is not necessarily about abandoning everything, but about understanding that these things do not define our value nor our mission. The real treasure is inside. And this is where we need to focus our energy. Are there things in the material world that you are too attached to? How do these attachments affect your spiritual path? Being an elected official is also bearing the responsibility of guiding others, even when it is difficult. Imagine a lighthouse in the middle of a storm. It remains motionless, solid, illuminating the way for the ships lost at sea. But this lighthouse also undergoes the assaults of the wind and the waves. It does not hesitate because it knows that its mission is to offer a direction to the lost souls. In the same way, the chosen are lighthouses for those around them. They are called to light the way even when they themselves cross storms. It can be exhausting. It is sometimes tempting to withdraw, to think that the mission is too heavy to carry. But it is precisely in these moments of doubt that one discovers his true strength. Despite the trials, Christ never strayed from his path, for he knew that his mission was greater than his own. How do you bear this responsibility towards others in your daily life? What sacrifice do you make to be a guide for those around you? To be chosen also means to face rejection and incomprehension. The story of Jesus is filled with moments when he was rejected by those he wanted to help. He was mocked, betrayed, and humiliated, and finally crucified, not for his own faults, but for preaching the truth. This truth was disturbing, for it was going against established beliefs. In the same way, today's electors can be confronted with the incomprehension of others. Your light can dazzle those who prefer to remain in the darkness. Your ideas, your beliefs. See this as an opportunity to strengthen your faith and your determination. Think about those moments when you were rejected or misunderstood because of your beliefs or your mission. How did you react? Perhaps you felt pain, injustice, or even anger. It is natural because incomprehension can be a difficult task to overcome, especially when you know deep down that you are on the right path. But take a moment to think about what these experiences have taught you. Each rejection, each incomprehension, is it not also an opportunity to grow, to strengthen your faith in yourself and in your mission? Incomprehension is a test of your commitment, of your ability to remain true to yourself, even when the world seems to oppose you. Imagine yourself as a flaming flame in the wind. The wind can be strong, it can try to extinguish you. But if you stay focused on your inner light, this flame will never go out. It will continue to shine no matter the strength of the wind. Perhaps you have already tried to convince others of the accuracy of your mission, to show them what you see so clearly. But sometimes you can't. It is not necessary to convince. Sometimes it is enough to keep moving forward, knowing that your path is the right one, even if others do not understand it yet. You are a precursor, an enlightener. Your mission is not always to convince, but to show the way, even if you walk alone for a while. So what does that mean to you? How can you transform the incomprehension of others into an inner strength? Think of those moments when you doubted yourself because of what others said. How can you use these experiences to strengthen your faith in yourself and in your mission? Perhaps the answer is in the simple acceptance of what is. Accept that everyone will not see what you see. Accept that some reject you or judge you. But above all, accept that it is part of the path. It is part of the price to pay to be elected. In the end, the acceptance of the unknown is another important aspect of the spiritual path. The path of the chosen ones is not always marked, it is not always clear. There are times when you do not know where you are going, when each step seems to be a leap into the unknown, and that is where faith comes into play. Like the little bird that jumps into the void, you must sometimes trust the universe, even when you cannot see the path in front of you. It is natural to be afraid of the unknown. It is human. But it is precisely in these moments of uncertainty that you are called to show courage. Courage to trust. The courage to continue, even when you don't know what's waiting for you. Think of those moments in your life when you had to make a leap of faith. Maybe it led you to places you never imagined. Maybe it transformed you in a way you couldn't anticipate. So how can you embrace the unknown with faith today? What are the steps you still hesitate to take? What keeps you from throwing yourself into this void with confidence, knowing that the universe will support you? The acceptance of the unknown is not a weakness, but a strength. It is the recognition that even if you cannot control everything, you have the faith that everything will work out for the best. It is a reminder that you are never alone on this path, that the universe is always with you. You guide us, even in the darkest moments. So, dear electors, take a moment to reflect on what the unknown represents for you. What are the aspects of your life where you still have a hard time letting go and trusting? And what can you do today to start accepting the unknown with faith and serenity? This trust in the unknown, this unwavering faith, is the ultimate test of every elected. It's a leap into the void, a total abandonment of what we think we control. Yet, it is also the most powerful act that can be accomplished. Imagine a moment when you had to face a situation where no clear answer was on the horizon. Anxiety, fear, doubts can easily submerge you in such moments. But that is precisely where the real challenge is, to be able to let go, to trust the universe. Even when each fiber of your being wants to cling to the security of the known, Christ in his earthly journey has left us the ultimate example of this absolute trust. When he was in Gethsemane, aware of the suffering that awaited him, he could have chosen to abstain from his destiny, but he chose to abandon himself to the divine will. His prayer, "May your will be done," is the very symbol of this sacred submission to the unknown. He embraced uncertainty with such deep faith that it transcended pain and death. It is this abandonment, this faith, that opened the way to resurrection, to victory over death itself. Are you ready to follow this example in your own life? Are you able to say that your will is done when all seems uncertain, when the ground seems to fall at your feet? It is not an act of passivity or resignation, but an active and bold confidence. It is a conscious decision to believe that every step you take, even in the dark, leads you where you need to be. The path of the chosen ones is paved with these moments of faith. Every sacrifice you make is a sign of faith. Each obstacle you overcome shapes you, reinforces you, and prepares you for something greater. It is natural to feel fear or doubt when you face the unknown. After all, the spiritual journey is by definition a journey into the invisible, the unknowable. But that is precisely what makes it so powerful. Because by accepting uncertainty, you open yourself to infinite possibilities, to miracles you could never have imagined. Think of a moment in your life where you had to make an act of faith, where you had to move forward without knowing what was waiting for you on the other side. What did you feel? How did this experience transform you? Maybe you discovered an inner force you didn't know you had. Or maybe you realized that the answers you were looking for were already in you. You've made it. Oh yeah. Good job. Okay, I'm sorry. You're scaring me. I'm so sorry. Oh, I didn't mean it. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. You want to make a wish? Go ahead, make a wish. You say, I know I made a mistake, but I don't know how to fix it. But as an opportunity to grow, to draw closer to your divine mission, Christ has shown us that the true strength lies in the abandonment of divine will. And it is this same strength that will guide you through the darkest moments of your journey. Have confidence that everything you go through has a meaning, even if you don't fully understand it yet. Today, I invite you to think about this question. What concrete action can you undertake to strengthen your faith in the unknown? How can you, like Christ, embrace uncertainty with grace and confidence? The path ahead of you may be dark, but remember that every step you take in faith enlightens this path a little more. And at the end, you will discover that this walk in the unknown was precisely what led you to the light.